afternoon. It's lovely to have you all attending today's Gemini Chronicle, Simple Rules of Tech by Gemini. My name's Gabriella, and I'm going to take you on a Gemini journey for the next 20 minutes or so. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge that we are all working in an extremely unusual environment, and I'm sure that this is posing challenges for some of you, and it's quite different having to work from home. And I thought that the next wee clip would be something that you might look at and have a wee laugh at, just to get us on our way with the Gemini journey. Here's some ideas for you on how to spend your time at home. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and a little bit of light relief. So now we're going to talk about Gemini, and we're going to talk about the simple rules of tech with Gemini. It's kind of an ironic concept that an HR system would put people first. Really? Well, legacy systems have proven otherwise. Often they're difficult to use, complex, not intuitive, heavy on support and infrastructure, sometimes even having to go into multiple places to put the same data, and not really integrated or simply connected. Our technology journey in our lives has been a really interesting one. Yep, it's certainly had its challenges. Yet, think about the technology that you're using in your personal lives now and how you use it. And probably in a lot of ways, case in point in terms of working from home and how we're doing that now. It has been a journey. And actually, I'm going to play you a video. I've started watching Big Bang Theory on Netflix. Absolutely loving it. And yes, I'm binge watching it. This one came up, and I'll share my screen with you. It dates back from a series back in 2008. And it actually tells us or shows us how far that technology journey has come in some instances. It's a bit of fun too to listen to this.
Watch this, it's really cool. Call Leonard Hofstadter.
Did you say call Helen Boxleitner?
No, call Leonard Hofstadter.
Did you say call Temple Beth Seder?
No!
Here, let me try. Call McFlono McFlooney-Loo.
Calling Rajesh Kuthrapali.
Oh, it's very impressive.
I really enjoyed that. It's very funny. Yes, that new tech has had its trials and tribulations. However, think of the difference between 2008 and now. When it comes to HR, and you may not even have an HR system, you probably have got a payroll system, these are three key points in terms of the journey we want to take for Gemini. Intuitive, being easy to use, and being nice to use. Do your people say that about your HR system, whether they're a manager or an employee? In a world where we seemingly live by downloadable apps with no need for instructions, no learning, no heavy deployment, how do we get an HR system that is these three things? Because let's face it, if an HR system is desirable to use, easy to use, intuitive, at the end of the day, you're going to have the ability to get the information you need in order to manage your people. The future is always an exciting place. And with technology trends accelerating at such a rapid pace, like they are today, when it came to HR and Gemini, what were the things that we considered most? The Internet of Things. The term Internet of Things has generally been called IoT, so you've probably heard it talked about. It's been used in our environment for probably the last couple of years, and it is considered as that next big thing in home automation technology. It's an ecosystem of objects that really exchanges data through the internet without any human interaction. Artificial intelligence. AI has been an absolutely fascinating concept right from the first day, and it's an incredibly disruptive technology that was introduced. AI refers to a computer that can think for itself without being programmed by humans to do so. No, we're not talking Skynet and Terminator. The benefits, though, and the precision and the results underpinned by AI have meant that organisations leveraging this type of technology have been able to deliver better activities. So with technologies like big data, cloud computing, robotics, AI, having such a huge or large-scale development in the business environment, it's most likely that it's now that automation is at its peak. A majority of software companies are comprehensively implementing automation to drive productivity, safety, profitability, quality, and, well, HR, wellness. Think of that. User experience. Goes without saying. Without a nice user interface, the success of HR systems is going to be questionable. So what does that mean in Gemini, those things? Well, AI, Internet of Everything, Google Maps, addresses, regular patterns. Now this is the AI. Because you took this course, others who did so took that course. Think Amazon. Informed insights. The power of having business critical information at your fingertips without having to generate reports or mine data. People want to use it, are engaged and not frustrated by it. It's effective. Why do we use technology for our HR environment? 2 key points really. A business has needs to meet and it has problems to solve. It's people, processes. A software solution that has the features and functions to support a business and drive process improvements. So we've got these 2 items. How do we get them to connect? Well, you sit down, you ask a set of questions about 1, what are our problems? What are we trying to solve? What are our business needs? And then 2, using a software solution, we try and align or meet the business requirements as best as possible. Sounds logical, right? The reality is that when it comes to HR and payroll, many businesses don't know what they don't know. And for the Gemini team, that is our privilege to help you through that process. So why Gemini? Today is obviously all about people, meaning that processes, practices, and HR trends are vastly diverse across your businesses. No 2 businesses are the same, as they should be, or shouldn't be. 4 key topics within HR today where Gemini can really assist you. HR analytics, new technologies, new ways of working, and millennials. Focusing on your employees. The question back to you is how does your current system align with that? This quote is not mine. HR departments have been collecting data for decades. I thought it was a good quote though. Found it on Google. But most haven't been putting that data to proper use. HR has been synonymous with, I need to generate a report too. Well, how about informed insights on your HR trends, being able to help you and the business managers to make informed decisions about your employees, or to engage your employees, or to motivate your employees? Systems can assist. In this example, manager actions on an offboarding is recommending 2 people for a role because that particular role has been under-resourced, or an office where you have a high turnover and Jemini is drawing your attention to perhaps wanting to go and have a speak or talk to the people in the office, what's happening. It's kind of crazy, isn't it, that there are still some really basic questions that organisations really struggle to understand. How long does it take you to gather the following data? Now, I'm going to give you some questions. You should be able to answer them in 30 seconds or a minute at the most. If you're done within that, that's great. If not, it might be time to start thinking about how and where and why you don't know. And yes, I'm leading right up to the simple rules of tech through Jemini for HR. Here's our little wee quiz. Tell me, how many people work within your organisation? And hopefully you've been able to answer that. Do you know not only how many people work within your organisation, but how many work within each branch or each region or particular roles? How easy is it for you to get that information, to get that demographic? Here's another one for you. What are the average age, gender, or salary distributions across your business? Again, reasonably easy question. Should be able to answer it within 30 seconds to a minute. Often though, generating that sort of information are various reports, various tables, a report writer, a customized report to really truly know your business. How long have your employees been working for your company? How do you manage tenure? Do you know your average tenure? How easy is it to work that out? Who's coming up for their long service leave? Who's coming up for their 10 years congratulations? Wouldn't it be nice to have that information at your fingertips? Do I know what my flight risk is and who those people are? Especially in a time where recruitment has been tight, this sort of information is invaluable to organisations. Having a true employment summary, the good points and the bad, where we can motivate, where we can encourage, where we can develop potential roles that someone might move into. Do we really have good succession? Do we really know who the people are that we value most and we don't want to leave? What are my leave patterns? What does my leave look like across the organisation? Where is my high risk? Where is my leave liability? Headcount, sick leave, percentage sick leave days, showing turnover and looking at it by region. And today's question, very, very applicable, and I know there's a few organisations who've been wanting to do this. How do I manage across my business? Have people been travelling? When did they travel? What sort of risk do they pose to our other employees? Can I monitor and manage anyone that might have had exposure or certainly does have COVID-19? So what next? Well, new technologies are emerging faster than ever before, which is really exciting. Some technologies will transition from expensive risk to essential tool. And to a certain extent, we're seeing that with the voice technology, despite the funny little video at the start. Some will completely revolutionize our lives, the way we work. Some will disappear because other technologies have come in place. You don't need to master all the latest technologies in an HR solution. From a provider of HR solutions, we do need to keep an eye on them and have a good understanding of how they will affect you as our users and your companies as the industry that you are in, and how they could affect your HR processes. We can't predict the future, but one thing is absolutely certain is that technology will continue to be a game changer in all our lives. So we'd like to say with Jemini and across Jemini, be prepared for the exciting journey ahead. We've ensured that Jemini is in a great place to use the tech now and that's coming. We're excited that Jemini is social, intuitive, easy to use and fun, and a platform that enables us to move with new technologies or emerging technologies. Think VR. Here's some really cool sites to have a look at actually, and I do recommend Josh Burson. He is a world leader in HR consultancy, and he has some really cool blogs on tech and the importance to HR. So bringing it back to basics, there's a lot of change hitting us from different directions, and more so today, right now, than we're used to. So getting people on board, committing to change and a common goal can be tricky. We're up for that challenge with you. Traditionally, employees have been seen as a cost rather than the appreciated as the most important resource or source of revenue. And again, today's environment is showing that without the people, there is no revenue. By now, most of us realise that employees are the ones with the first-hand experience of company structures, systems, product services, and engagement. So they can tell you what works and what doesn't. Our focus on having a user-centric experience with Jemini is at the core of its success. Managing that entire people life cycle within your business is a passionate feature of the Jemini journey from us to you. Understanding the people, our people, how they work, what they do, what they want to be, and providing a process to support our people in their own life cycle is at the core of what we're doing with Jemini. And what are those rules of tech to enable that with you? Well, if it's intuitive, if it's nice to use, if it's using technology that we're familiar with today, the buy-in is huge. If we make it simple enough for people to engage with, for people to capture information so that at a high level, you know where your business is at, it is going to be really effective for you. I hope you've enjoyed Gemini's broadcast today, and we'd love to have the opportunity to show you more. Do read our blog on We Never Set Out to Be Normal, and please join us on the next web meeting on the 13th of May, where we're talking about AI and human capital management. It's been great sharing the Jemini journey with you today, and I look forward to the 13th of May to share more. Take care, be safe, and be well.